Mike
All right,
Rizzo.
folks, this is a monumental moment because the Don of football is on the show, and that is Julian Zaldivar. Now, my hermano, Jules, he oversees all of our Inter Miami stuff, English and Spanish, and he is an ambassador for the World Cup coming up down here in South Florida. I am well and ready. I know Damien is, Julian is. We're all ready to go for the World Cup. But, Jules, brothers, I cannot believe it took this long to get you on the program. Welcome on, my friend.
I know. I've been waiting for a while talking to Damien. Damien, what do I need to do to be invited to the show? But it's exciting, and I think the opportunity is perfect. 50 days away from the FIFA World Cup. 50 days, that's insane. I can't wait for this tournament to happen. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about why it's so massive, why South Florida is the epicenter of it all, and why ESPN South Florida is the place to be at when it comes to really aligning a brand or a fan or a partner to the World Cup.
And Jules, let's start there because, I mean, obviously we're 50 days out. We got some great programming coming up on the English side on 106.3 and the Spanish side on 760. Just what could people expect from us as a station when it comes to this great World Cup coming to North America?
Sure. And I think it's just all about being authentic and being aligned with what soccer has become in the last few years here in the United States. Soccer is here. I've been hearing people asking, oh, will this World Cup finally bring the soccer enthusiasts to the next level? Soccer is here. It's been here for a while. And I think Inter Miami and Lionel Messi in South Florida has really shown what soccer can accomplish. That's why we are the most credible. We are the largest soccer media entity in South Florida, which, by the way, happens to be the top soccer market in the country.
Wow.
So because we have such a responsibility, we want to make sure that we're serving fans and partners the right way. From bilingual content, we're going to have live play-by-play in Spanish. I know Damien is going to be listening to Uruguay. I'm going to be listening to Mexico, to the U.S., to Argentina, Portugal. We have every single live match in Spanish. But we also have shows, specialty World Cup shows before and after the soccer action. I know you're going to be hosting.
Looking forward to it.
A World Cup show, which is going to be incredible. I know our Elias Bustamante and Leo Vega and our Inter Miami Spanish talent are going to be joining our morning shows, as well as Damien. And we also have World Cup reports, daily updates, all our content are going on digital and our YouTube channels. But what about the community outreach? What about the watch parties with fans that we're planning? We know where to go. We know who to cheer for. I can't wait to see everyone enjoying a World Cup watch party for the U.S. men's national team and ESPN South Florida being at the middle of it.
And Jules, you mentioned it's in our backyard.
It's in our backyard.
It's right here in South Florida. We got matches at Hard Rock. I know it's going to be a long time until we get it again. Forgive me for thinking there's going to be games at that brand new stadium, no pun intended, New Bank Stadium. But Jules, you hit the nail on the head. We're the number one soccer market. We got the best player in the world. There's a brand spanking new stadium right next to the airport down in Miami, and we have World Cup games coming up here in 50 days. Talk about what this means for the community here in South Florida to have such a monumental event coming in 50 days.
Absolutely. And I think it's all about the essence of the South Florida sports community. We know this is a large multicultural market. We know people speak many languages, people follow different cultures, but soccer is really that common denominator. Soccer is that glue that will bring fans together during 40 days of games. We're going to have 7 games here in South Florida, 7 Super Bowls. Let me give you a stat that I think is going to make you fully understand the perspective of how massive the World Cup is. It looks like over 75% of Americans are going to be following the World Cup this summer. That's more than 200 million people consuming World Cup content. And South Florida is the number one market here in the U.S. But this is another one. And I want to see your face when I tell you this.
Let me hear it, Jules.
Audience, World Cup audience. Do you know what that is? Give me a number. Give me a guess.
Around the world?
Global, yes.
2 billion?
6 billion.
6 billion.
6 billion. That's the World Cup audience. Do you know what's the Super Bowl audience?
I would say 2.5 billion.
120 to 130 million.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm way off, Jules.
We have the World Cup, 6 billion. We have the Super Bowl, 120 million. That means that the World Cup audience is 50 times as large as the Super Bowl.
Jeez.
50 times. And we're going to have 7 Super Bowl level events here in Miami. We're going to be at the heart of it. And we have teams like Brazil. We have Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal, my favorite team to win it all. We're going to have Colombia. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a once in a generation event. And I'm so proud that our team, ESPN South Florida, is going to be right in the middle of everything.
Folks, Julian Zaldivar joining me here on Pink Smoke. Listen, I call Julian the Don of football. The Don of football here on ESPN 106.3, and on the Deportes side, he oversees all of our Inter Miami partnerships. Now, he's obviously into the World Cup. He's selling the World Cup for us like crazy. I'm going to be doing a show. We're going to be having shows on the Deportes side. He's just got to tell you, 6 billion people are going to be watching the World Cup. So, Jules, you mentioned you're high on Portugal. Now, I feel like we're obligated to root for Lionel Messi. Listen, I'm a Manchester United man. I love Ronaldo. I would love to see him get a World Cup. But listen, Messi he's our guy. And if he were to go back-to-back to end his career, I think that would be something special. But you mentioned you like Portugal. For me, Jules, Spain, France. France could field 3 11s and still be their third 11 could still be the 5th or 6th best team in this competition.
Talent-wise, France is stronger than anyone else, including Spain. I know Spain's the number 1 favorite to win it all. France, Argentina, as you mentioned, with Lionel Messi. The problem that I see with Argentina is they already won it. They know what that feels like. We all know that the Argentine team came together to give Messi that trophy that he was missing. Now it's time to defend the crown. I don't know how easy that will be. I like Portugal. I think this is a new generation of players full of talent. Cristiano Ronaldo playing his 6th World Cup. This is a time for Ronaldo. From a storyline standpoint, from a historic moment standpoint, I want to see Cristiano Ronaldo lift the big one.
Now, Damian Perez, my co-host and producer on Pink Smoke, he sounds like a fellow Manchester United fan.
Yeah, and honestly,
he sounds like somebody who had glory years with that team like me with CR7.
I got to be honest. I'm on the complete other side of that. I think Portugal, in my opinion, would be the worst case scenario.
That's ridiculous because he's a Barcelona guy.
Or maybe because he thinks Uruguay is going to win it all.
Uruguayo. Hang on. Uruguayo. Uruguayo.
That is definitely a reason, but I'm also Team Messi, and I'm glad that GOAT conversation is put to rest with Messi's World Cup, and I just don't want to see that debate
Julian and I, we are very thankful for Lionel Messi. We absolutely love Lionel Messi. We will not say a bad word, but we are looking forward to seeing CR7 in the World Cup. Now,
One quick question for you guys before we finish the conversation. What about the U.S. men's national team? Now, this is their moment. This is their chance to make history. We know the U.S. men's national team have only won 1 knockout stage game in their history. This is the moment for them to go to the next level, right?
I am worried, Jules. I said my whole thing with the USMNT this year, I wanted them to make the Elite 8. I wanted them to go to the 8. Yeah. That's where they went in South Korea. That's the farthest they ever went. By the way, they got robbed in South Korea. That was never a goal. They should have never have counted. But, Damian, I'm starting to get a little worried with the form I've seen them. Losing 7-2 on the aggregate to Belgium and Portugal, I'm worried once they face some top-tier competition.
Yeah, and there's a world where that can kind of be a slap in the face, bring them back to reality so that they know what they're going to face in this World Cup. And get serious. That's kind of been the theme with the U.S. men's national team. Yeah. Will they be a serious national team?
Jules, him and Elias Bustamante, they said, Riz, they got to get serious. That made me a little upset. Now, Julian, I got to tell you about my good friends at Tri-Rail because it's the way to go for when you're going to Inter Miami games. Partner, you take it. You take the Tri-Rail. You leave your car at home. It's a 10-minute walk to the stadium.
Best way to get to new stadium.
So, folks, leave the hassle. Leave all that at home. Get dropped off at one of the Tri-Rail stations. That's how you're going to want to do it. Avoid the airport traffic. Avoid the headache of it. It's a 10-minute walk. Folks, a 10-minute walk. You're there in a jiff. Tri-Rail. Try it today when you go to new stadium. I will be down there on Saturday. Julian will be there as well, and he's taking the Tri-Rail. Go take the Tri-Rail as well. Tri-rail.com. That's tri-rail.com. $5 weekend rates. Jules, thank you so much, partner.
Thank you, guys. 50 days to the World Cup. Let's enjoy it together.
This has been Pink Smoke on ESPN 106.3.